old man becomes beggar to help his son find love. Once upon a time, in a small village in Nigeria called Ohafia, there lived an old man named Mr. Paul. He was a kind and wise man who had worked as a farmer all his life. He had only one son, Michael, a tall, handsome young man who helped him on the farm. Michael was strong and hardworking, but there was one problem. He refused to get married. Every time Mr. Paul told him to find a wife, Mike would say, "Papa, I don't trust girls. They only want money or beauty, not real love." This made Mr. Paul very sad. He wanted to see his son happy with a loving wife and children running around before he died. One evening, while sitting under the mango tree, Mr. Paul had an idea. He smiled to himself and said, "If Michael cannot find love, I will go and find it for him, but not in the way he expects." The next day, Mr. Paul packed some old clothes, rubbed charcoal on his face, and left home with a walking stick and a small bag. He went far away to another village where nobody knew him. There, he began to walk from street to street, pretending to be a poor beggar. He would knock on doors saying, "Please, my daughter, give me water to drink," or "Can you spare me a little food? I have not eaten today." But in truth, he was not hungry for food. He was looking for something deeper: kindness, humility, and a good heart. The first house he went to, a young lady shouted at him, "Go away, dirty old man." She poured dirty water at his feet and slammed the door. Mr. Paul walked away slowly, shaking his head. "Not this one," he said to himself. The second house, another girl looked at him and laughed with her friends. "See how he smells. Beggars everywhere these days." They gave him a stone in a plate, pretending it was food. "Not this one either," he sighed sadly. But Mr. Paul did not give up. Every day for one whole week, he kept moving from house to house, meeting different young ladies. Some gave him food but looked annoyed. Some gave him money but never asked if he was okay. Then one afternoon, the sky was dark and rain was falling hard. Mr. Paul sat under a tree, wet and shivering. Suddenly, a soft voice spoke. "Papa, come inside. You will catch cold." It was a young woman named Joy. She lived in a small compound with her mother and younger brother. Joy gave him a dry towel, warm pap and akara, and even cleaned his feet. She didn't ask for anything in return. Mr. Paul's heart jumped with joy. This girl, she's different. As he sat near the fire in her kitchen, he watched how she joked with her brother, helped her mother, and prayed before they ate. "She is the one," Mr. Paul whispered to himself, smiling. But now he had a new problem. How would he reveal who he truly was? Would Joy still treat him kindly if she knew he wasn't really a beggar? And how would Michael react when he found out his father went on such a journey just to find him love? That night, Mr. Paul slept in Joy's compound on an old mat, but it was the most peaceful sleep he had in weeks. The sound of the rain, the warmth of the small fire, and the kindness he had received made him feel like he was home. The next morning, Joy woke him with a soft voice. "Papa, here is warm water to wash your face, and I cook yam porridge You can eat before you go." Tears came to Mr. Paul's eyes. Not many people showed love to strangers, especially not beggars. "Thank you, my daughter. You have a heart of gold," he said quietly. As days passed, Mr. Paul stayed around the village watching Joy from afar. He saw how she helped the old woman at the stream, how she gave fruits to children, and how she never shouted, even when someone annoyed her. One day, Mr. Paul sat with her and asked, "My daughter, don't you want to get married?" Joy looked at him and smiled. "I do, Papa, but I want to marry someone who values truth and kindness, not just money or sweet words." Mr. Paul nodded slowly. "What if your husband's father was once a beggar?" he asked with a smile in his eyes. She laughed. "If he is kind like you, Papa, I will still marry him." That was the answer Mr. Paul had been hoping for. The next morning, he stood by the village gate. His bed was clean, his clothes were new, and he carried a small bag of gifts. Joy was shocked when she saw him. "Papa, is that you?" He smiled gently. "My real name is Mr. Paul. I'm not a beggar. I came to find a wife for my son Michael, and I believe I have found her." Joy's eyes widened. You did all this for your son?" "Yes," Mr. Paul replied, "because my son doesn't believe in love. But if he meets someone like you, maybe his heart will change." Joy didn't know what to say. Her mother, who was standing nearby, also looked surprised but happy. "You are a good man, Mr. Paul, and your son is lucky to have you," she said. Now Mr. Paul needed to return home and bring Michael to meet Joy. But would Michael agree to follow him? Would he believe his father had truly found the right girl? After pretending to be a beggar, Mr. Paul began his journey home, his heart full of hope. When Mr. Paul returned to Ohafia village, Michael was sitting under the mango tree, peeling cassava. "Papa, where have you been? I was worried." Michael stood up quickly. Mr. Paul dropped his bag, sat beside his son. "I went on a journey, not just with my feet, but with my heart." Michael looked confused. "What are you talking about, Papa?" Mr. Paul smiled. "I found her." "Found who?" "The girl who will love you for who you are, not what you have. She is kind, humble, and full of light." Michael laughed, shaking his head. "Papa, not again. I told you, I'm not interested in love. She took me in when she thought I was a poor beggar. She washed my feet, fed me, and called me Papa with respect. She didn't know I had a son. She didn't care about money. She cared about my heart." Michael grew quiet. For the first time, he saw the seriousness in his father's eyes. "Come with me," Mr. Paul said. "Just meet her. If your heart doesn't change, I will never ask you again." After thinking for a moment, Michael agreed. The next day, father and son traveled to Joy's village. As they walked through the dusty path, Michael looked around, wondering what kind of girl his father had found. When they reached Joy's compound, she was outside sweeping the ground. She looked up and saw Mr. Paul. Her face brightened with a smile. "Papa, you came back." Michael stood quietly, watching her. She was not wearing fancy clothes. She had no makeup, yet something about her made his heart feel calm. "This is my son, Michael," Mr. Paul said proudly. "Michael, this is Joy." Joy greeted him warmly. "Good afternoon, brother." Michael nodded and replied, "Good afternoon." They all sat under a tree and on and as the wind blew gently, they talked and laughed. Joy didn't try to impress Michael. She was just herself, simple, honest, and cheerful. Over the next few weeks, Michael visited her again and again. Slowly, his heart began to change. One morning, he told his father, "Papa, I think you are right." Mr. Paul smiled. "I knew you would see it." Months later, Michael and Joy got married in a joyful village celebration. The drums beat, the women danced, and Mr. Paul wiped tears from his feet. He had done it not by shouting, not by forcing, but by walking the hard path of love and wisdom. Moral lesson: true love is not found in riches or beauty, but in kindness, humility, and a good heart. Sometimes we take a humble path to discover the treasures hidden in others. Never judge a person by how they look or what they wear. The greatest hearts are often hidden in the simplest places.